Oh, I think you may be able to see from all that I have a rather strong leaning toward true stories that really occur. I think that the fun that you notice is a whole lot more fun than the fun you invent. I've always felt that way. I come from a family of long-time storytellers. My grandfather, my father, my mother, everybody that I know in my family, one uncle in particular, can just drive you up the wall with great stories. And I've always loved to sit and listen, just in rapt fascination as my family told tales. I think probably one of the things that I've been most pleased with in recent years is to discover how crucial humor is to the way most of us are able to view life. If I could say any one solid word of encouragement to anybody, it would be, I think you will know what your state of mind is primarily by your ability to respond with humor to the catastrophes that are around you. Humor isn't going around popping funnies and being silly. Humor is a way of looking at life. I think all of us have had the opportunity, or the responsibility, say, of having to dress up for a really nice function, get on your best clothes, walk out and it's raining, you get in your car and about halfway to the party you have a flat, and there you are in a drizzling rain. 2 years later you can tell that and laugh about it. A good sense of humor is to laugh sooner after you have the flat. I think that's crucial. The people I know that are alive and alert and full of fun are not the people that go around cracking jokes as much as they are the people who don't let life control them, but who in a sense control life. One of the dearest people I know is a woman in my church in Louisville, where I'm a member, whose name is Gaga Woodward. Gaga is a deacon in our church, and that upsets a few folks. We have a deacon who is a lady. In fact, we have 3 deacons that are ladies. I think it's really cool. We have 3 of the neatest women I've ever known. It kind of shakes you up to have women serving communion and doing some of those kind of things, but they are just pure delights, and we could not choose men with their qualifications. They are just pure delight. Gaga is one of the neatest women I've ever known. I've heard her say many times, life has always been good to me. I've never seen her down. I've never seen her terribly nervous. She got up in the first deacon's meeting we were in and said that she was going in the hospital for surgery the next week. And she said, don't come around saying, poor Gaga, can I help you? Just remember to pray for me. I'll make it. And she sat down. Now that's beautiful. April 3rd, 1974, a tornado hit Louisville and just almost gored out the east end of our city. It was one of the most devastating nights I can ever recall. Absolutely terrified me. I don't remember ever being so hurt, so frustrated, so crushed. Next morning we got out and tried to go check on 2 or 3 friends of ours, and we go barreling across the city. They stopped us at one particular intersection and made us take a different route. Well, we made our turn and we go cruising around and have to pass what was Gaga Woodward's house. The house was demolished. 2 or 3 walls were standing, roof was gone, beautiful trees gone, garage completely flattened out, and a car with a frame twisted. It was absolute devastation. The brunt of the tornado came right through her backyard. It was terrible. Well, I saw the house, and I'd been there many times for social occasions and to visit, and my heart just jumped right up in my throat. And I slammed on the brakes in front of her house, cut off the motor, and I said, come on, Eleanor, let's run inside. She said, I can't go. I said, you got to go. Come on. So we go running in through the dining room window, which is now a whole lot more accessible than the living room door. And we leap into the dining room, and here was rubble and dust and mud and gunk, and I almost burst into tears immediately. I was in shock. And I'm standing there trying to catch my composure, and I hear footsteps upstairs, clump, clump, clump. So I walk over to the stairs and look up, and I said, Gaga? And she came to the head of the stairs with some old beat-up grody clothes on that she was cleaning up the rubble with, holding a chandelier in one hand. And she looked down at me, and I didn't know what do you say to somebody standing up there holding a chandelier, you know? And I sort of stared at her for just a moment like, oh, Gaga, and she looked down at me. She said, Grady, I never should have let them ordain me as a deacon. And I just wiped out laughing. She came right down the stairs, put her chandelier down, put her arms around my waist, and buried her head in my chest. And I put my arms around the nape of her neck and just gently rocked her for a couple of minutes while Eleanor patted her on the back. Gaga finally looked up at me with moist but not drippy eyes at all. And with a real stern disposition, Gaga Woodward said, we're okay, Grady. We just lost a house. Gaga's going to make it. She wasn't cracking jokes. She wasn't being silly. Gaga had gotten hold of something that the Bible calls the peace that passes understanding. Peace doesn't mean the absence of conflict. It means learning controlling conflict. It means to put your sails up and determine where you're going to go no matter what the wind is doing. Peace is the ability to go through the valley of the shadow of death and not around it. And it brings ultimately the great dimension to the life called joy. And I hope with all of my heart that as we've laughed together and had some fun together, that the main thing that you have tried to see in one weird man's life, I have had a whole lot of fun on this trip. I plan to have a whole lot more before it's over, and I hope you've had as much fun tonight as I have. Thank you. Good night. Thank you.